Hey y'all, we're in the kitchen tonight. I'm making a new recipe, so I thought I'd just go ahead and film it. It may turn out good and it may not, but we'll see. But it's called Crazy Good Casserole, and I got it off of a social media site, and I don't remember which one. But I thought tonight would be a good night to try it. So I'm browning a pound of ground chuck in the skillet. I've got a pot of water heating up, and I'm going to put 8 ounces of these extra wide egg noodles. I'm going to use half the bag, so I'll just finish up the other half of the bag. So I'm getting ready to chop up an onion, a medium onion, and 1 green bell pepper, and I'm going to add it in with the hamburger and let it cook with the hamburger. Now that the hamburger has browned for about 7 minutes or so, and the onions and peppers are getting soft, I'm going to add in 2 cloves of garlic. But instead I'm using the minced garlic, so I'm just going to do a couple of spoonfuls. Just a little shortcut. I didn't feel like peeling and mincing my own garlic tonight. Okay, that's been going for another minute or so, and since I'm using ground chuck, there's quite a bit of grease, so I'm going to drain that off by just pushing all this up to the one end. And now I'm just going to tilt the pan, let the grease run down here, and I'm just soak it up with a paper towel. And I have the trash can ready just right under me here. I'm going to take more than 1 sheet of paper towel. Got that one. Alright, so now I turn this eye off, and I'm going to add in a can of cream of chicken soup. I love these little mini spatulas. They come in handy. Also, I'm putting in a can of cream of mushroom soup. I'm just going to give that a stir real quick. Alright, now I'm going to add in a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies. And a cup of sour cream. That's my pasta that's ready. Stir this up a little bit. Go ahead and put the spices in. I have in here a teaspoon of chili powder and a half a teaspoon of cumin. Now I'm going to mix this together and drain the pasta, and then I'm going to put this in my casserole dish and add the pasta in there and stir it up, because this skillet's pretty full right now. It says to add salt and pepper to taste, so I'll go ahead and do that too. I'm going to do about a half a teaspoon of coarse black pepper. And I'm going to do about 3/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, I'm putting in the egg noodles now. And give this a good stir. I think that's pretty good coated. All the noodles are coated, so now I'm going to add a cup of mozzarella cheese and a cup of extra sharp cheddar cheese on top. And it's ready for the oven, and I have the oven preheated at 350, and I'm going to bake this for about 20 to 25 minutes until it's nice and hot and bubbly and the cheese is melted. Now while that's in the stove baking, I've cleaned up my dishes, and I'm sorry y'all saw my dirty skillet sitting behind the back there, but I had grilled Joe a turkey sandwich for lunch, and I just hadn't washed that yet. I was waiting until I fix supper and just wash everything together. So I've got that all cleaned up. So I wanted to tell you about, we went to Troyer's Amish market 2 days ago. It's just been such a pretty week this week. The sun's been out, it's been in the 70s, so we got the convertible out just to take a drive. We ended up at Troyer's, and I needed some bulk milk chocolate chips to make cookies for the holidays, and I always get them down there. And I couldn't believe the prices. Oh gosh. I think I've had it in the video that I'll show after this, our trip down there. But there was a package of chocolate chips. It was 1.8 something pounds in that bag. They were over $25. Over $25 for that bag of chocolate chips. I couldn't believe it. So needless to say, I didn't get them. But Joe found pickled beans, and he's been asking for pickled beans. I've never made pickled beans before. His mom did, but they had a jar at Troyer's, and he's already eaten half of these when we came home. I think it was the night after, or maybe that night. I fixed some soup beans and cornbread and these beans, and I said, well, what do I do? He said, you just put them in a skillet and heat them up. So that's what I did, and he liked them. So I bought a slice of German chocolate cake. I can't resist that. It's already gone. I've already eaten that. And one of my favorite candies are orange slices. So I bought these. And we bought jar openers. This came in a set of 3. Joe and I both are having trouble opening up jars. They're sealed so tight we can't get them open. So we've already used these twice. We used it that day that we came home, and we used it just now to open up that jar of minced garlic. So they came in really handy. Now, today I went to Tony Slaughter's Farms, bought some more country sausage, and he had some fresh turkey craw beans. So I went ahead and got a big mess, and I'm going to pickle those for Joe. His sister told me how to do it, so I'll try to do a video when I do that in case you all like pickled beans. So when our casserole gets out, I will show you what it looks like and we'll do a taste test. It just came out of the oven and it looks so good, and I gave it a light sprinkle of some dried parsley out of my herb garden that I had dried. So I'm going to let that set for a few minutes while I have some 5 cheese garlic toast in the oven. Okay, Joe's going to be the brave taste tester. This is a dish that we've never had before, but I just thought the ingredients sounded good in the recipe, and it was called Crazy Good Casserole. So why don't you try it out and see what you think.
All right, I'll give it my best.
It said salt and pepper to taste. I put some salt in it, but it might need a little bit more. See what you think. I figured you could always add salt to it, but we can't take it out.
Pretty good.
Is it? Now, I've tasted it, and it is pretty good, I have to say. Now, this would be a good recipe if you needed to take something to a potluck or feed several people. And I think it may freeze good. I'm going to try that because we can't eat that whole pan unless we find someone else to share it with. But it's good. I would definitely make it again. Top of that silo right there has been blown off. I bet it did that during those winds we had with Hurricane Helene. We're just out for a country drive today with it being so pretty and sunny. Probably one of our last days we can get out before winter sets in. all. Excuse the look. This is a no makeup work day for me, and I'm starting out this morning making the pickled beans for Joe. Now I went to Tony Slaughter's and bought the fresh turkey crawl beans they had, and I've strung them and broke them and washed them 3 times, and I've cooked them in my pressure cooker, and now I'm just letting them cool. So while they're cooling, I have washed some pint jars and got them clean, and I have mixed together the solution to pickle them in. So the recipe calls for a cup of non-iodized salt, which is the same as pickling salt. So a cup of the pickling salt and a cup of vinegar to 1 gallon of water. So I have that mixture sitting over here, the brine, and I stirred it up and got all the salt dissolved in there. So now I'm just waiting for the beans to cool a little bit, and then I will pack them in the jars and seal them. And the recipe says that Joe's sister sent me, cook the beans, do not salt them or anything, just cook them, and drain the beans and let them cool, and then put them in jars. And then you mix together the solution, which is 1 cup non-iodized salt to 1 cup of vinegar to 1 gallon of water. Then you cover the beans with the mixture and put lids on them, but not too tight. Not loose, but not tight, to give them room to work. They're going to be fermenting. And it's a good idea to set them in a pan in case they run over while they're working. And then set them in a dark, cool place for 4 to 6 weeks. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, the beans have cooled, and I've put them in 3 pint jars. I had a big mess of beans, so that's what it produced, is 3 pint jars. So I've got the brine solution, and I'm going to pour it over the beans. Make sure they're covered good. I filled the beans right up to the bottom of the lip of the jar. And for the brine solution, it called for 1 gallon of water, but I only used half of that recipe, so I knew I wouldn't have much, and I'm still going to have quite a bit left over, so I may have to go get Joe some more beans to use up the rest of this brine. Put just a little bit more in these 2. Now these are not dilly beans. Some people like dilly beans, but these are just pickled beans. They don't have any dill in them. So I'm going to wipe the jars down with a paper towel. Put the lids on them, and I've already put pickled beans in the year 24. And remember, it says to not do them real tight, but you want them tight but not real tight. So I'm just doing them hand tight. So I didn't put the year on these 2. I'll do that. I'm going to set these in a pan with a lip on it and put in the pantry downstairs where it's cool and dark. And it says to let them sit for 4 to 6 weeks before you eat them. And that's all there is to the pickled beans. I've noticed last night that something has dug up around this concrete pad at the garage. A lot of holes. I don't know what that could be. There's another spot. Over here's a bunch. could be doing this. There's another one. Another one. Another one. Several more on down through there. And on up this way. What on earth is digging up the earth? I use this baked chunk, get at Tractor Supply. I have to unscrew the top off. Oops, don't want to lose that. And the little, has a little nut on it too. Now that comes out. These have a hole on the end. Just put 3 of them in there. Put the top back on. And you don't want it to touch the bottom of the hole where they come in, the bottom of the pipe, so you want to leave a little bit of gap. So I'll know how to, let's come up a little bit more, about right there. It's a beautiful morning. It's about 40-some degrees. I just let Mercy out of the barn, out of the garage. And don't know what we'll get into today. Put this thing back on. Okay, I've got that loaded. Got the lid on tight. So I'm thinking maybe it's the moles or voles digging the holes in the yard, so maybe this will stop it. We are headed to Farmer's Daughter. First time they've opened this weekend since the flood from the hurricane. And we're going our normal back roads route. And I hope all the bridges are restored that we can get across. This one is in good shape right here. There's another one on down here. Are turning and looking pretty. That's that Bitcoin operation there, isn't it, honey?
Yeah.
Did they close that down?
ahead. See what's going on.
Go down here and see. No. It looks like they're still working on it down through there. Can't get across here. We'll have to go on down. Look at all this cleared out here.
I'm looking at it over in the riverbed. Look at it.
Look at that building there.
Everything's.
My goodness. We can get across this bridge.
I think some water went down through there. That's the nose of it. Did some damage, didn't it?
Sure did.
Ford truck.
Yeah, look at all the debris on those lands. So sad that all the farms that was on this river where they sold all the produce off of it, it's probably wiped out. And they say the Fender farm may not recover. So Teddy is with us. We finally made it to the farmer's daughter. And this is the first weekend they've been open for business. They've been open, but just serving the community hot meals that's been affected by these storms. So she's brought our bread, she's coming with our drinks, and Joe wanted the baked buttermilk chicken, and Teddy wanted the Alaskan whitefish. The food has arrived, and we got the chicken down there and fish, and creamed corn, mashed potatoes, fried okra, cornbread salad, macaroni and cheese, coleslaw, soup beans, broccoli and cheese, sweet potato casserole, mashed potatoes and gravy, and cooked cabbage. And we've already been eating on the rolls and cornbread.
Well, I like this food very much. Of course, I just had the fish and some of the vegetables, but it is really good.
We ate until we couldn't eat no more, didn't we?
I am full, and I'm taking my dessert home.
I'm taking my dessert home too. It's butterscotch pie. Joe decided to go ahead and eat his pie.
My pie tasted good.
Is all your food good?
No,
No?
no, but parts of it was good.
Nothing like honesty.
Huh?
Nothing like honesty. What was your favorite part?
The chicken, was that good?
Chicken's good.
What wasn't what's good?
Just in general, it wasn't.
Well, the buttermilk chicken was good. It was real tender. You could just cut it with a fork. I didn't try any of the fish, but Joe and Teddy ate all of it. And all the vegetables were very good, except I'm not a fan of cornbread salad, so I didn't eat that. The rolls and cornbread were good, so everything was very, very good. turned on Jackson Bridge Road off of Highway 107. Headed back home. And just look at all this devastation. Bridge that we're going over. They just got it open not long ago. Yeah. Pray for all these people down here. Jonesborough. There's the Eureka Inn where we spent our first night as a couple, honey, after we got married. Jackson Theater is getting ready to open, the new Jackson Theater, sometime here in November. The Chester Inn on the left here is a interesting place to go visit. A lot of history in there, and you can take a tour of it. We're going to get a parking place up here by the courthouse and take a picture at the photo prop that got built.
You can go to 20-minute parking out there.
We're in front of the courthouse, and they've got it all decorated up for fall.